Hello. I am a little bit late. I meant to do this at 5 my time, CST, but instead I was messing around with an audio file and some other technical difficulties. But that's all good now. Everything should work. And I am looking forward to getting into this. Today, talking about little free libraries. And if you don't know what one is, I will show you. And then I will show you why. So this is a little free library. They are all over the place. If you go to Little Free Library, I think it's littlefreelibrary.com, you can set these up and you can also find like maps of them. I love little free libraries. If you look at the thumbnail for this video, there's a picture of me and a lizard at a little free library. One of the things that I used to do was whenever I had a new children's book, not my scarier stories, but a new children's book, I would always do the first copy. I would leave it at a little free library, and that would be what I considered my book release, because little free libraries are important. And basically what one is, if you don't know, they're just little libraries that people sponsor. As you can see, there's like all kinds of them, but it's where you put books in, and people can take those books to read them, and they can leave books that they want to share, kind of under the idea that you usually only read a book once, and then you can pass it on to somebody else to read. So it's a little bit like recycling, which I love. It's literary, which I love. So I've been a fan of little free libraries ever since I first discovered them, and I've seen a bunch of them. I've seen some. There's a post box one here in Kansas City. Looks like one of those old London post boxes, so you can actually walk into it a little bit, and it's lined with books. I've seen old fridges used. This mail, I'm sorry, the post box right there. I mean, not post box, the newspaper box right there. I originally got that because it was going to be turned into a little free library just before 2020. And then, sorry, I excuse my squeaky chair. I was going to turn that into a little free library right before 2020. And then when the pandemic hit, I kind of paused because we didn't know what was going on, people congregating in front of the house. And then I kind of fell in love with it there. Like, I think it looks really cool, and it houses magazines and books that I have for sale and stuff. So anyways, and in Kansas City, we have such harsh temperature fluctuations. I don't actually think it would do very well to leave books sit out in for a long period of time. So anyways, it's kind of staying there for right now. And this is what I want to get. Now, I started doing a fundraising for this to get a little free library. And that is over here on my Ko-fi page. I'm 25% funded right now, thanks to my friend Laura Kester Duerrwaechter. Sorry, Laura. I'm terrible at pronunciating anything. But yeah, she's donated very generously towards this goal. This is actually my first fundraiser, so I feel a little bit sheepish about it. And then another friend of mine, Francis, donated, and Raw Dog Screaming Press donated. I think that's it so far. So, but let me tell you why I'm even doing this. And no matter what the donation situation is, by the time I get back from this next trip, I'm just getting it. I decided to do this right before StokerCon came up, and so that's like a lot of expense. And I felt very nervous to go drop, $500 on a little free library to sit out in front of my house. And so, but after this next trip, I will know where my finances sit, and whatever's left on this goal, I'm just going to knock out so that I can get this installed. And the reason why I want to do this little free library is because, I'm going to share my screen again, is because of this. So I'm giving you a Cliff Notes story, and I am definitely not I don't know all the details of this. The part that is important to me is censorship. So we have new trustees at the Mid-Continental Public Library System. Not new, it's been a little while. But anyways, we have these trustees who have we'll just say narrower views of morality, perhaps, than mainstream, which is fine. You can have whatever views you want. But when you are running a public library, it is not for your views. I mean, my personal views is that everybody should read horror. Dogs should never die in horror. And all the rest of the books could be about dogs and probably don't need romance. This is my personal opinion. If I was a trustee, well, heck, even as publisher of a magazine, I cannot let that, I can't let my personal desires, choices, whatever you would call that, preferences, biases, I can't let those rule me, because then the magazine suffers, because the magazine is for everybody. That's just a magazine. And publishers can put their biases and things into their magazines, kind of like the point of having a publication. But when you are over a library system, a free library system that is for everybody, public library system, I feel that that is incredibly offensive and wrong in the most wrong ways that I can imagine. There are very few things that I would consider outrageous to me that I would be angry about. Censorship is probably the number one, and hurting animals and hurting children. But yeah, censorship. That's probably like my three. Like, kind of, you can do whatever else you want, but don't censor, don't hurt animals, don't hurt children, and probably people, but people can defend themselves too somewhat. Anyways, I'm gonna get off that topic. It's my biases. That's my personal biases. So anyways, there's this big stink because the trustees, you can see a little bit of the stuff here, and I actually know the person that did the display that, to my knowledge, kind of kicked everything off. It was National Banned Book Week, and they displayed some books that have been banned in the past, not particularly by this library, but just in general, like Orson Welles' 1984 was banned at one time. And they're making like a sarcastic kind of thing, hyperbole. These books are dangerous. And for some reason, Yummy Pandolfi, and is actually her name, did this comment: appalling. I'm saddened by this lack of judgment from library employees. And anyways, she didn't like the display. They felt like it was wrong, and that these books should not be publicized like this because they're not for kids or something like that. Like I said, I don't know every detail. I'm kind of concerned by the censorship because I really don't care what it is. It shouldn't be censored. Intellectual freedom is the point of public libraries. And intellectual freedom means anybody can read what they want without judgment at the library, and they can feel comfortable and safe to explore whatever topics they want. A library is here to give knowledge. So, and I will get off that high horse because I will sit here for the next 3 hours and talk about this topic. So very near and dear to my heart. Anyways, I was super outraged by this. You can read, I have this article that was on NPR in Kansas City. This is linked in this description below, so you can read all of it. But I'll just kind of highlight. This happened in 2019 is when it started. And I remember I was still an employee of that at that time. And the library had Trans 101, which is what it was called. There'd been a couple of suicides from transgender teenagers in the area. And so the library thought it would be good to open a dialogue, the library trustees at the time and the employees and everything. Decided to open a dialogue between transgender people and non-transgender people so that they could talk and learn about each other and not be afraid and lose biases and prejudice. And it was really, I thought, an incredibly good idea. And the trustees decided that was going to hurt children, that it was like promoting gender confusion. And I'm actually reading this, voyeurism, which I don't understand. It's not a peeping Tom. workshop. It was about transgender people being open to questions about what does transgender even mean. And I remember when that came out, I actually thought about attending because I don't know everything, and it's like a place where you feel weird to ask somebody. You know, you don't want to just be like, "Oh, hey, so you're transgender. What is, can I ask a bunch of personal questions?" So I thought it was a really good idea. Anyways, long story short, they didn't. They canceled it. They actually, and I believe it was Yummy that did this, but somebody, it might actually even say it in the article. Oh, yeah, it was Yummy. Equated being transgender to being a criminal. So yeah, some real small-minded stuff going on in here. Steve Potter is was the library CEO. He was an amazing man. I actually interviewed him for Space and Time magazine in 2020 for the pandemic, and his handling of it, can't say enough good things about this man. Anyways, he wound up quitting over this, or early retirement. It's an outrageous mess here. Long story short, because I really can spool this out into a long story, I was super outraged by this, and I'd signed the petition, which is here, also linked down below in the description. I'd signed the petition, and I didn't know what else to do. I'd signed the petition, I'd raged about censorship and banning books and things like that, and I just felt really helpless. And then my friend, Laura Duerrwaechter, suggested, because she knows how much I love little free libraries, and I don't know why this didn't even occur to me, but she suggested, why don't you put a little free library in front of your house, and then you control it, and you can put all the banned books in there. And I was like, wow, what a good idea. So that is what started this, and I do apologize for that long story. And I just remembered to look at comments. So thank you and welcome. I need to get better about that. I'm really bad about looking at comments. But yes, I see you, and I thank you, and I welcome you. But yeah, so that's kind of the story behind why I want to do a little free library. Is it's going to be for whatever books that are in there, like whatever somebody wants to leave and whatever somebody wants to take. But I'm going to take special care to make sure I put any books that are banned, that or have been banned or are going to be banned, like Mouse. We just had that crazy thing with Mouse being banned in different library districts and school districts. So I would get a copy. I have a copy, and I would put that copy out there for somebody to take. So that's the idea behind this. Boom. So if you would like to donate to that, you can go to my Ko-fi page here, and you can see we're 25% of the goal. It's $500 is what I'm trying to raise. That's for this. And it requires shipping and a post, which I actually didn't realize was $180. Maybe I'll do the wooden post for that. But yeah, so there's a couple little things like that. That's why it's just rounded up to 500. But like I said, whatever is left by the time I get done with this next trip, I'm just going to do it, finish it off, because all of my big, scary expenses, aka Stoker, will be done. So I will see how much money I have at that time. But yeah, that's that. And I have a box of books that have already been donated for this by my same friend, Laura. And I also have a audio file that she did for this. So I am going to open these books. It's a book mail, but a big book mail. Now I'm going to open these books, and I'm going to show you the books while I play this audio file. And I'll also click around and show you like what she's referring to. So let me go ahead and play this. Share my screen again. And hopefully this will work. I have had trouble once playing audio. So I do hope you can hear this. I'm going to turn it all the way up. And this is the voice of my friend Laura Kester Duerrwaechter, and I'm going to show you the books that she has donated. They will be the first books in the library when it's installed.
Hello, everyone. This is Laura Kester Duerrwaechter speaking to you from the Florida Panhandle, where I first met Angela in 2016. She was my teacher of a creative writing course at Northwest Florida State College, and she continues to be my mentor as I successfully navigate my life as an indie author. The Little Free Library they are proposing is a visible protest to the censorship penned by the trustees of her local library. We are both incensed and outraged that this defiance of free speech has occurred in the country we live in, and more specifically in one of the major cities that represents such a global diversity in its population. It is our hope that you will join us in building this first of what could be a citywide project where she lives. At the time of this recording, we had reached 25% of the necessary funding. Please consider helping us by contributing to the purchase of the free library kit and also purchase of replacement copies of the long list of books banned by this particular library. We must stamp this type of censorship out, and we must do it in a way that is respectful and uplifting to those who have been so deeply ostracized. Thank you for listening and keep writing. Bye.
All right, so hopefully that came through loud enough and clear. But that was my friend Laura. I'm going to also post that on my Ko-fi page so that you can listen to that. And then this is the ginormous stack of books that she donated for the Little Free Library. And it's really cool to go through these books because it's almost like going through a photo album because we've known each other for a while now. I can't remember how long, but yeah, we did meet when I was teaching creative writing and some other classes at Northwest Florida State College in Niceville, Florida. Yes, there really is a place called Niceville. But so looking through all these books, I have so many memories. Like I remember her going through the art with this one, and I got to look at some of the art before it came out. And she's actually got a series of those. This is all part of A Kiss on the Nose, which is her experiences as a dog. Well, not dogs, because see, there's some chickens, but as a pet sitter. Some of her memoirs on that. Tattoo. That sexy beast on the front of this cover is actually my husband. So he, there it goes, it focused in. That's actually his real tattoo. So that's definitely a family thing. Life pages. I actually don't even have a copy of this yet. So I might read that as it goes into the library. And I don't have a copy of Different either. So that was very cool. Those are going to be read before they go on the Little Free Library. Like they'll go in and then I'm going to borrow them so that I can read them. And then this was the first one we worked on together, Bipolarity. So it's always going to have a super special place in my heart. My daughter Kira did the cover for that, like a long time ago. Flawed and Perfect. Thought that was a different cover, but don't remember now. And then I remember this one going together. And then this one, I think this was number 2, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. Anyways, I won't keep on reminiscing because, I could. Books obviously hold a very special place in my heart. I also wanted to add, I'm going to add a copy of Dancing in the Shadows, which is the book, the anthology that we just put out, and all of the money from this book, it's a tribute to Anne Rice, who just passed away. And so Elaine Pascal and Rebecca Rowland put this book together, and I published it under Eureka Publishing. And every penny of the money that comes from this book, I love the art in this. Jeanette Andromeda did the art. It's gorgeous. Art on the cover. It wraps around. Absolutely beautiful. But anyways, every single penny of the sales from this book goes to the Animal Rescue of New Orleans, Arno, and I'm about to send them a big old box of books that they can just sell, like just donate a box of books. But one copy is also going to be added in there with all of these. So that's a hefty bunch of books to go into this little free library right off the bat. And I know I have many, many more, including that copy of Mouse that I talked about. I think that's it. Oh, and other mail. I actually have something really special to open up as well, but I do have another, just came in like minutes ago, so let's just go ahead and knock out this book mail while we're at it. This is To Be Devoured by Sarah Tetlinger. This is going out of print, and I can say happy late birthday, Sarah, because of that. That's not going in the little free library yet. I need to read that. And one more book mail. This I know is not a book, but it does have a special place in my heart. When I was at Stoker's, it was pointed out to me that my hat is very faded now. I obviously always wear this hat. I did try to get away from wearing this hat this last week, and it didn't end up well. Did not feel very comfortable. I love my hat. Usually I get a new hat every June, it seems like the old one will be kind of faded and whatever. And so I replace it and get a new one. And I save all the old ones. So yes, I have quite a collection of black newsboy hats and one red one that I think I might have given away because that didn't work. But anyways, at StokerCon, it was pointed out to me that my hat is pretty faded. Yes, it is. I think this is the 3rd year that I have not replaced it yet. Mostly because pandemic and where was I going? So I bought a new hat. And we will see how it goes. This is actually slightly different. About 2 years ago, I didn't like how the hat was working for me anymore quite. I was being fussy, I will admit. And then when I looked it up to order a new one, I found out it's because, super nitpicky, I used to get a 6-panel newsboy and they changed it to an 8-panel newsboy. And I have never been happy with that. So I am trying a different one. I think it's still 8 panels, but it's flax linen instead of cotton. And so it will hold up its shape better because I do like a puffy newsboy. I'm very particular about my newsboy caps. So I will be trying that out. You saw it here first, my hat being replaced. I don't even know what the ribbon is for. Oh, to adjust the size. Neat. And because I was kind of in that wild experimental mood as I buy the same exact hat almost the same exact hat that I do all the time for like the last 8 years or 9 years or so, I got this version, which I may or may not keep, because I don't know, it's pretty wild. It's a straw version, so that it's cooler, like, because sometimes my head does get hot. So we'll see. I don't know. kind of already not feeling the vibe of this. I'm being very suspicious. We'll see. We'll see. But that is about it for now. And I just want to thank my friend Laura for donating all these books for the Little Free Library, for donating funding for this Little Free Library, and for, I'm going to put it back up, and for having the idea to do the Little Free Library. It was funny because it just didn't occur to me, but I was like, instead of worrying about what I can't control, this is worrying about what I can control. I can do that. So that's what I'm going to do. But this has been, thank you for being here. This has been a bit of a longer one at 25 minutes again. I do generally like to keep these short. But that was about it. That was my big spiel on Little Free Libraries and censorship and book banning and what I personally am planning to do about it and how you can help, which is go to my Ko-fi page, link in the description, go here, and then it's where I talk about the Little Free Library goal, and you can go here and you can donate whatever you want. And Ko-fi doesn't take anything out of that. Even just $1 helps. But whatever is left now that StokerCon is done and all my big trips for now, I have a couple coming up in July, but now that that's all done, whatever is left, I think I'll just be able to get. So this is happening no matter what. And thank you for being here. It's fun as always. I'm glad that I'm kind of getting back on a schedule. I'm just doing daily now. I'm not really doing 8 because sometimes something's going on that it would be fun to cover or not cover. Like next weekend, I'm going to the Writers Police Academy. So probably won't be streaming from Writers Police Academy, but I will probably be streaming every night with this little vlog situation and tell you kind of what's up. So that's it from me today. I thank you so much for being here. I thank you, Laura. I'm going to put that audio clip on my Ko-fi so that people can listen to it again if they want. And I can't think of anything else except for I thank you so much for being here. You're awesome. And you know what else I should say? Because I see other people saying this. Consider liking and subscribing, and it helps me make more. But I'm going to be doing this anyways, whether you like and subscribe or not. So that's up to you. And with that, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you tomorrow.